those types of games where you throw the records out despite everything that's happened in the regular season. These two are bitter rivals, and we'll see what happens here today. Alongside Bill Hupp, I'm Nick Walsh for North Metro TV, and always exciting when you get to this round of the playoffs, Bill, but also the rivalry factor that comes into these two teams being right next to each other, longtime rivals. It should be a fun one today.
Oh, it should be a really fun one, Nick, and there's a lot at stake, obviously. The winner of this game likely to move on to the section final to take on #1 seed Maple Grove. So it's a big game, and obviously there's a ton at stake, and it's a rivalry, and there's always intensity, but when it's the state playoffs, the intensity gets just ratcheted up that much more.
Centennial comes in a record of 14-4-1 overall, coming off a 9-1 win over Spring Lake Park in the quarterfinals. Blaine at 10-9 overall, winning 4-1 over the Osseo Orioles. And we are underway here in this section semifinal matchup. Centennial won both regular season matchups 6-0 and 5-3, but we are in the second season now as the Cougars push the puck up the ice to open this one up, but it's picked up here by Ben Walrath, one of the seniors here for the Blaine Bengals. Up the ice it goes to Finn Loftus, centering past to McIntyre right out front, and right in front of the senior netminder Leo Troji. 9-4-1 on this season. Thrown back into the zone by Walrath, and right in front, Leo Troji covered for a moment, but the puck stayed alive, and Blaine continues to pressure as Dane Anderson, the junior, dumps it back in. Now picked up by A.J. Lemaire, the senior for Centennial. Clearing it out of the zone. Now Owen Van Tassel will bring it in as the Cougars will take a full-scale change with the exception of Van Tassel. The wrist shot is high. Back out to center ice now as Matt Everson, the junior defenseman, will play the puck. Tipped in the zone by Brody Pass. Pass had a big game in the quarterfinal, a 5-point effort against Spring Lake Park. 2 goals, 3 assists. Now back out to the point. Everson one-times it and sticked away by Wallen and back out of the zone. Oilo will dump it back in for Centennial. First 90 seconds of action in this one. Good tempo as it's picked up by Nate Schaefer, the junior, and dumped back out to center for Blaine. And all the way down, we'll have our first icing call. 15:28 to play in our first period.
Something I'm looking for this afternoon, Nick, is how is the Blaine offense going to perform? They lost 5 straight coming into the section playoffs, and in 3 of those losses, they scored 1 goal or less. They were shut out twice, so it's going to be key today for them to take advantage of their opportunities and get on the scoreboard.
Centennial wins the draw, and the wrist shot by Everson from the right point. He gets it back and fires again. This time is high and around the near side and cleared out by the Bengals. All the way down the ice. No icing on this one as it's picked up by Everson on the far side. Now Drake Ramirez, the 5'8" sophomore, clears it back out to center. 2 minutes gone here in our first period. No score, as we mentioned. Centennial won both matchups this season, 6-0 and 5-3. Here comes Cade Anderson up the left wing side, pass inside to Ankrum, but Ankrum ahead of the play, and so offsides is the call.
Good pace early going. Neither team has really grabbed a foothold, although Centennial, I feel, has been the more physical team thus far in terms of delivering hits, and they're also out shooting the Bengals 3-0.
Thompson to take the face-off against Walrath, and Walrath wins the draw for Blaine. As Matt McIntyre, who had 2 goals versus the Orioles, has it, and now clears it up the ice now for Walrath. And now picked up by Carter Korkowski defensively for Centennial. Korkowski fights through it and clears it back out to center. Really a good tempo to this, real fast skating on both sides. There's Schaefer again, now for McIntyre. McIntyre getting behind the defense now into the corner. Defensively, A.J. Carls is there. He had a hat trick against Spring Lake Park. A couple of players piling up some big points against the Panthers. 3-on-1 in the corner there for Centennial, but a little tough as Korkowski sends it around to the near side. Trying to get it out is Jordan Newpower, but Bengals are pressuring here as that's Luke Steffen, the sophomore, and now coming out to center ice. The puck allowing Centennial a change as Franco Canaveri, the junior, will dump it back in for Blaine. Korkowski again in the corner as well. And now Pooter with it, skating to the circle. Centering pass out front. Dane Anderson now a rebound right out front, and it's picked up by Centennial. Mason Wistersill gets it back out to center. Blaine continues to control the puck nicely here in the opening minutes as Steffen will bring it in, and he takes it up as Lemaire throws him down on the ice.
Lemaire's delivered a couple of those shots so far.
There's Pooter trying to push it back in, but knocked back out by Wistersill, and here comes Van Tassel on the left wing side. Tipped away nicely there defensively by Finn Loftus, and Blaine holding their own here so far in the opening minutes, but Van Tassel will bring it back in. Pooter will flip it to the near side. Now taken away by Van Tassel, the turnaround. And Wallen gets a piece. The shot would have been wide. Now the rebound, the shot by Everson knocked down. Another chance, this time by Wistersill from the point. And here come the Bengals now. Ernest at center ice, and he gets blown off the puck by Everson. Picked up the other way. Here's Henry Bartle. He'll wait for the rest of the team as Van Tassel whiffs on a play. Now picked up from behind by Everson. The tip will go to the right wing side. Big blast by Bartle is just wide. Picked up here by Canavari, and now Blaine pushing to get it out for Andrew Swanson. 2-on-1 maybe. Swanson winds and fires in, the save made by Troji. Bartle back the other way. Up the ice now for Ankrum. Ankrum trying to get it through and gets a shot off. Wallen makes the save. And now the tip, centering pass taken away. McIntyre able to flip it away. Under 12 minutes to play here, first period. Steffen will bring it in the zone for Blaine, and now that's tipped away. Back the other way is Cade Anderson. He's all wrapped up, but no call there as Anderson back behind the net. Now feeding from behind, but that's Walrath to tip it back out. Korkowski will throw it back on, and Wallen 10-7 on the season, 3.66 goals allowed average. Back the other way now is Landon Steffen. Gets behind the defense. Backhand try stop by Troji. Nice save there we've seen from both sides here. Cougars with the shots on goal advantage of 7-2, but a good opportunity there by the Bengals. McIntyre sticking with it, but finally it's broken free. Here is Ramirez. Flips it up the ice. All the way down. And wholesale changes here for both teams. That was a long shift for both sides.
What a fast and furious pace we've got so far, Nick.
Thompson now back behind the net for Carls. And Carls wrapped up, but stays with it and wraps it around past Newpower, but he'll chase it down in the corner. Newpower pinned against the wall, and now Luke Steffen will be able to clear it. They're going to wave the icing off here as Everson will chase it down. 10.5 minutes to go. I think we've only had 1 or 2 whistles stopping play here. It's been free-flowing here early. A.J. Carls getting behind the defense, centering and shooting. Bouncing puck, and Wallen's got to reach over. That came off the back wall with a good bounce to it, right over the top of the goal, and Wallen had to be ready.
Lively boards apparently here at the Centennial Sports Arena. I've seen it at the Gophers Arena where it went off the glass, off the back of the goalie and in a consolation third place game at the state tournament. So smart of Wallen to be ready and live to that puck. And we finally get a whistle.
Of course, they just renovated this building a year or 2 ago. It reopened, and so fresh boards to be sure. This used to be an Olympic style arena, and they've changed to a more North American style, so new boards here at the Centennial Sports Arena as that's cleared back out to center.
What a beautiful facility it is, too.
It really turned out well, no doubt. As this one's right on net, Wallen's going to have to glove it out of the air here with 9:50 to play in the first period.
Well, just about a little over 7 minutes gone by in the first period, and Blaine has to feel really good about how they've started things here on the road.
The opening minutes, Blaine was really able to control their own inside the Centennial zone. It's been a little bit different the last 4 or 5 minutes as Hoylo with it. One time and a goal! I think it was tipped out front by Brody Pass. We'll wait for the scoring, but Centennial has taken the early lead at 1-0. If it's Pass, he continues a trend of scoring recently and scoring against Blaine. 8th goal of the year, if it counts. It would be his second of the season against Blaine and his third so far in the postseason.
How often do we talk about how important traffic in front of the net is, Nick? And right there, Brody pass, right place, right time, just redirects it past Wallen into the upper corner off that shot from the point.
The goal coming at 7:15 of the first period, as the Cougars open up with a 1-0 lead. Ramirez will flip it up the ice now to Ankrum, and now Anderson into the zone. Stopping on a dime in the corner, and now Ankrum flips it behind. And it is indeed Brody Pass, his 8th goal of the season. Hoylo and Bartle will get the assist at 7:15 of the first period. So Centennial, the opening score of the stanza, as Wallen makes the save there. Wallen has been in net for a couple of years now for these Blaine Bengals, 10-7 on the season with a 3.66 goals allowed average. 2 shutouts, and coming in at exactly 90% saves on the season.
And Nick, you just have to wonder what that opening goal is going to do for Centennial. Is it going to tilt the ice in their direction?
Teams have a tendency to defend a little different when they get the lead, is able to stay back a little bit on plays they maybe would be more aggressive on, as Connor Thompson brings it in, centers it out in front for Wistersill, who got a shot on, and Wallen made the save. Save kept in the zone by Wistersill. He'll turn around with another shot, and again Wallen turns that one away. As this one's back out to center, Lemaire will throw it back in. Partial change coming for Centennial as the puck tipped back out, and here comes Blaine. 2-on-2 bonus with the puck. And across to Luke Steffen on the right wing side, and that's taken away. Here comes Hoylo, right to left. Hoylo trying to get around, now a centering pass for Newpower. That's tipped away and into the near side by Canaveri. Canaveri sticking with it, and now the puck held in by Hoylo. Under 8 minutes to play. Now a centering pass, and Newpower couldn't get a good stick on it. He was wrapped up nicely by Bonus right out front. Held in the zone by Thompson. Carl's now with it. And defended nicely by the Bengals and flipped back out to center. Hoylo dropping back again, and that might be the product of an early lead, but Blaine finds some hole there as Steffen brings it in as it's flipped away into the corner. Now McIntyre, turnaround wrist shot, that's wide of everything. Held in the zone by Schaefer, and now flipped back out to center. Leo Troji stepping out to play the puck. Look out! That one came off a skate, and now a centering pass for McIntyre, and this one is wide again. This time picked up by Pass and flipped around to Van Tassel. Trying to clear. This is what we saw a little earlier from Blaine. They had some good pressure to keep it in the zone, but unable to get some good scoring opportunities out of it. Shots on goal favoring the Cougars right now, 11-2. Another one thrown back in. Walrath will chase it, but right there with it is Lemaire.
Blaine having good offensive zone time, just not forcing the netminder for Centennial, Leo Troji, to make much, do much in terms of saving the puck.
Flip back out to center, but Everson is there, and he'll send it across now to Korkowski. Here comes Bartle, number 1 line for Centennial, coming in. Bartle backhand try, Wallen is true there. As Bartle to Van Tassel, a wrist shot. That goes wide of the net. Pass now. Tips it back, and too strong for Korkowski, and that allows Blaine to make a change in their own end. Pressure continuing here. No doubt the Cougars are getting the better of the opportunities so far, and here comes Van Tassel again. Backhander goes wide of the net. Korkowski tries to keep it in, and it'll be flipped back out to center. Swanson. But there again, there's Anderson, and that might be a little bit of what you were talking about, as we've got a flip, and we're going to have our first penalty of the day coming up against Centennial here with 5:34 to go, as a tripping penalty is coming up against Anderson for Centennial.
Well, and Nick, that's what pressure in the offensive zone does. You know, if you're aggressive, you know, pressuring that zone on the forecheck, sometimes you get penalties like a tripping penalty. And now Blaine, with its power play at 22.2% this season, goes on the man advantage.
First opportunity of the day for either team in Centennial's win over Spring Lake Park. There was only one power play in the entire game, and so it was against Centennial, so they have not played much in special teams so far in the postseason. McIntyre at the point. Wrist shot goes just a bit wide. Loftus will play it from the far wall, off for Walrath, and now back to Loftus. McIntyre walking in. Across now to Walrath. And the pass wide, and Loftus could not keep it in, and it'll be a face-off back in the neutral zone. And a little bit of a shot by Carls right after the whistle. No harm, no foul, as 1:28 remains on the power play.
Carls and Lemaire really throwing their body around in the early going for the Cougars. They were packed in, allowing that content to give up that outside shot. That's how they're choosing to defend things.
Penner a big shot as he tries to bring it into the offensive zone, and now flipped back out, and Centennial will clear. 1:10 remaining on the man advantage as Loftus retrieves. 1-0 Centennial. Brody Pass, the lone goal in the game so far. And Pass will bring it back in, but that's offsides as Van Tassel was ahead of the play for the Cougars.
And technically still no shots. So right now Blaine just missing the net or having their shots blocked by Centennial. That's hence the shot disparity at 12-2.
It's kind of like time of possession in football. It doesn't matter unless you do something with it. That's kind of what Blaine has done. They've had the puck in the zone, but they haven't really generated any offense from it.
And their best opportunity coming off the stick of Landon Steffen on that backhander.
Here's Walrath entering the zone now for the Bengals. 41 seconds remains on the power play. Korkowski pestering in the corner defensively, and now McIntyre from the point. One-timer, not caught in some traffic, might have hit Penner on the way in. McIntyre tips it to the corner now for Steffen. To the point for Loftus. Now Walrath walks in, a shot that was sticked wide. 20 seconds now on the man advantage. Here's Loftus again. Wrist shot and a goal! I think it was straight on without a tip as Loftus on the power play will tie things up here with just the third shot on goal of the day. But Loftus gets his 5th goal of the season.
Finn Loftus missed their first handful of games this season, but his return was so important for the Bengals as one of their leading scorers last year. And right there, credit should go to Matt McIntyre as well, who slid over from the right point to keep it in the zone and not allow it to leave. And then he threw it back on net. They cycled it again, and then Finn Loftus made him pay. And there was traffic in front to again screen Troji.
And so all tied up. Shots on goal favoring the Cougars 12-3, but on the scoreboard 1-1. Pass brings it in, and a wrist shot goes high as Everson will push it. As Loftus does get credit for the goal. Steffen and McIntyre on the assists for Blaine. 13-12, the time of the power play goal.
And McIntyre literally got credit for an assist, but as I said, I think the bigger play was when he kept it in the zone and prevented them from having to touch up.
As Korkowski unable to keep it in the zone, and back out to center. Here come the Bengals on the left wing. Quick shot there by Alex Ernest, and diving in front of the play was Ankrum. Here's Pooter now. Tip drill out front, and that got all the way through, but Troji was able to make the save with the shoulder and then cover up. And sometimes what happens when you get that power play goal, you start to relax and you start to feel your offense out. That's the danger sometimes of an early power play goal.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, Blaine, we said they'd have to take advantage of their opportunities, and power play is obviously one of those, and now they're starting to get bodies in front, and they're putting it on net, forcing Troji to do some work. So
as the faceoff controlled by the Bengals, is Hitchcock across now for Loftus. 2:45 to play here in the first period. Centennial's early lead is gone now. 1-1 our score. Carls tried to send it across. It got knocked away, and loose puck picked up by the Bengals again as this is thrown in by Walrath. Under 2.5 minutes to play in the first period. Wistersill now out to Newpower. And Newpower, a quick wrist shot and easy save unscreened by Wallen, and the faceoff will come inside the Bengal defensive zone.
When these two teams met earlier this season, one of the two meetings, Blaine had a 3-1 lead in the third period before Centennial scored on the power play and then had a big burst, scoring 4 times to come away with a 5-3 victory. But that certainly, Blaine just has to look at that and know that they can play with this Centennial team. They feel like they can.
Screen shot here by Everson, and now another one put on net. Wallen makes the save as Hoylo battles for it along the near wall. Bartle is in there. Pass is part of the scrum. Finally picked up by Schaefer, and under 2 minutes to go. Far side. Everson along the far wall. Brings it back out, but that's thrown into their own defensive zone. Hoylo back to play the puck. And picked up by Bartle, but that Blaine defense has become stout here in the last minute or two since the power play goal.
Centennial having difficulty getting through the neutral zone now.
Comes back out to Everson, and he'll dump it across to Van Tassel, but that one jumps into the Blaine bench, and so we'll get another face-off and a little more herky-jerky play here the last couple of minutes after that penalty, which is probably to the advantage of Blaine.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, that pace that we had for the first half of the period was unsustainable, but it was fun.
Face-off controlled again by Blaine here with 75 seconds to play in the first period. McIntyre will dump it in, and now Thompson will control for Centennial, but not clear, as Loftus will throw it towards the net. Walrath was cutting across, but his deflection went right into a body, and bouncing puck here. McIntyre whiffs at it, and it's cleared out. And Centennial just trying to clear the zone, which is a far cry from what we were seeing earlier in the match. Lemaire back behind the net now. And high over everyone, played with the hand by Newpower, and flips it to the far side. 38 seconds to go. Newpower is still with it, but Pooter there battling with him. Korkowski to chase this one down and cross to Lemaire. 25 seconds to play in the period. Well, dumped right back in, and on net is Swanson. And now under 20 seconds, and cleared again. Thompson will chase it, and they're going to call icing here. Must have jumped over everybody's stick along the near wall. There were definitely players to play it, but they will call the icing here with 13 seconds to play in the period.
Well, clearly the instruction for both teams in this first period, Nick, is put pucks on the net. We're seeing them get fired from all angles, in all variety of situations, and forcing the goaltenders to look alive and make the saves.
Face-off again, won by Blaine. They have been winning the majority of the face-offs. 7 seconds to go. Walrath back there, also Penner back there for Blaine. There's the puck loose, now picked up by Pass, and he will be able to kill enough time to run the clock down to 0. Centennial scoring first, but Blaine scoring on a penalty. Pass scoring for the Cougars, and the power play goal by Finn Loftus to tie things up at 1. Shots on goal favoring the Cougars through 1, 14-6. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the second period on the other side. 1-1 our score. You're watching the Section 5 Class 2A semifinals here on North Metro TV. And we are back here at the Centennial Sports Arena, set for period number 2 as Centennial and Blaine, each with a goal in the first period. We're tied at 1. It was a game. Bill Hupp joining me again. Nick Walsh is. It was an interesting game so far. We had a really free-flowing first half of the first period where there was almost no whistles. It was back and forth. Centennial got the goal, and then a power play allowed Blaine to kind of find their offense a little bit, and then the tempo kind of changed a bit. So it's been an interesting back and forth already through the first period.
Yeah, it's been a definitely a chess match so far, and Centennial has had the better of play in spurts. Blaine started really well, had to weather the Centennial storm a bit, and then, as you said, the power play, they took advantage, and then got a little jump in their step after that. So shots in favor of the Cougars in that period, 14-6, but that really doesn't tell the tale of how even the period was. And it sets up for what should be a really exciting, competitive final 2 periods.
As we are underway here in period number 2, Centennial will skate left to right, and here's A.J. Carls trying to throw one toward the net, but it got rejected into the corner, and so a big pile up there. As Carls stays with it, and now picked up by Blaine as Walrath will bring it back the other way. Cougars left to right, Bengals right to left. As Troji loses the puck, it's right out in front, and McIntyre couldn't get a stick on it. Oh, what an opportunity there for the Bengals. There's a big blast there now by Walrath, and wide of the net. As this one tipped back into the corner, Lemaire will chase it. Also, there is Walrath, and now out to Hitchcock at the right point. He one-times it into traffic, tipped out, now Loftus, rebound, tip, drill, shot, score! McIntyre! Matt McIntyre off a rebound, a sloppy goal, but Blaine will take it, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Bengals.
Oh, just Matt McIntyre just taking advantage. The puck found its way to his stick, and he just wristed it home. And it was a beautiful job of putting pressure on that goal and eventually breaking through. Leo Troji kind of nearly made a mistake, got away with one just minutes before, but we're 53 seconds into the second period, and Blaine has to feel real good having taken the lead.
As McIntyre getting the goal, his 16th goal of the season, and his 3rd goal of the season versus Centennial. They only had 3 goals on the season, and he's got 2 of them, and now 3 of the 4 coming in.
Loftus now with a goal and an assist for the Bengals. And again, the pressure burst pipes, right? And we saw that with that Blaine goal.
And so the Bengals, as you mentioned, had a lead of 3-1 against Centennial in one of their regular season games. Now leads 2-1 here early in the second period. And Bill, that was a situation where Centennial kind of got away with one earlier, and they never really controlled that possession. Blaine could have easily scored earlier on that wave and eventually got one to go.
Yeah, they looked unsettled the entire time. I mean, Troji, got back to his net without having to make the save, but after that, it really just looked like Centennial was scrambling defensively, and ultimately, by continuing to have bodies around the net, McIntyre just snuck it inside that right post with a quick wrister, and just like that, the Bengals have grabbed momentum early in this second period.
Penner will take the face-off against Thompson. 5:19 to play here in our second period. 2-1 in favor of the Blaine Bengals. Both teams now have led at some point in the contest here in this Section 5 Class 2A semifinal. As this one's cleared all the way down, and that one's on net, so no icing, and Troji will have to cover. So Centennial kind of scrambling here as they've had the puck cleared out, and now Troji will have to face a face-off inside the Centennial defensive zone again.
Well, in Centennial, their only 4 losses this season were to Andover and Maple Grove collectively, so how will they play behind? They haven't had to do that much this year.
As this one goes all the way through to Troji, but he makes the save, and now Steffen back behind the net. Tries to continue to control, and now Carls is able to clear it back out to center. 3-on-2 as Thompson brings it in, tried to feed it back to Carls, and then Carls got tripped by the goaltender, but there will be no call as Thompson keeps it in, but it rolls off his stick. And around now, back behind the net to Carls. He backhands it out front. Lemaire, a shot right on, and Wallen makes the save. Held in the zone by Korkowski. He'll try a wrist shot, but well wide of the net. Held in the zone again by Lemaire. Back behind the net for Carls. Carls gets tied up. Lemaire charges, but he can't get to it, and the Bengals clear.
Blaine letting Centennial have a couple shots where they just walked in with the wristers, so.
Carls skating in onside, and nope, they're going to say offsides. A late whistle there. I thought that maybe offsides was going to be the correct call there, but a late whistle before it happens.
Well, the draw will come out in front of the Cougars bench as they try to find their footing in this second period. Really, Blaine has had all the momentum since that power play goal midway through the first.
And a turnover right out in front as Swanson had a shot, but it got deflected, and now on the rebound it comes out front, but nobody there for the Bengals. And now back the other way is Bartle, bringing it in, dropping it off for Van Tassel, and it's right off the post.
That was pretty.
Van Tassel ringing the dinner bell as the puck leaves the surface, and so a face-off coming up here with 13:43 to go.
That play was made by Bartle, driving the net and then dropping it, drawing the defense, dropping the puck back, allowing Van Tassel to absolutely wire one off the post.
Pass again will take the face-off, this time against Walrath, and they're going to both get kicked out. So we'll get Van Tassel this time against Steffen. Van Tassel wins it for Centennial. Back to Pass, who drives one off a stick there and wide of the net. Held in the zone by Bartle. Back behind the net for Van Tassel, and fed across the mouth is Pass. Blaine now controls it. 13:25 to play, and it's picked up by Walrath going the other way. Walrath drops it off now for McIntyre, and he couldn't control. Up the ice, and a nice play there by Finn Loftus, putting his stick up, deflecting it away from Van Tassel. Would have had a free shot towards the net. Now back the other way, and Walrath right into the breadbasket of Troji.
You know, Nick, mistakes are magnified at this time of year. We saw that with Troji. I mean, he didn't pay for it ultimately, but it led to a goal. And then a couple of these other plays, you really have to focus and make sure that the puck's not, you know, bouncing underneath your stick and you're not fanning on passes.
Officially, they are saying Blaine is out shooting Centennial 4-0 here so far in the second period. They have not credited Centennial with an official shot on goal. Here comes Hoylo the other way. Hoylo centers it out front, but nobody there to take the pass. Blaine the other way. Bonus as it flip in. Right back behind Troji, and waiting for it there was Ankrum. Our side is Cade Anderson. Centennial at times has had a hard time moving the puck up the ice, as you've alluded to earlier, and they seem to be struggling again with it here as it's dumped back into the zone again. Hoylo this time. Able to get through and sending it across now for Anderson. Here come the Cougars. Up the ice pass to Ramirez. Well, back to Anderson and Ankrum in the corner. Anderson gets crushed across the boards by Canaveri, and the Bengals back the other way. Dane Anderson now will dump it in. Changes coming here for the Bengals. Everson up the ice pass for Ramirez, and will, well, I thought maybe a change for Centennial, but no, they'll all stay on the ice here. As the puck tipped around, Ramirez stays with it, but can't bring it into the zone. Second effort, Ramirez flips it in, and now the Cougars will change here with 11:38 to play in the period. And Ernest will dump it down. This will be an icing, and so a face-off in the Bengals zone, and that's a good sign for the Cougars, who really just haven't seemed to have much momentum offensively at all here in this period, or since the power play goal going back to the end of the first.
Yeah, no question about it. And as you said, Nick, they're even struggling to exit the zone smoothly. So they could really use a good spell of offensive zone time right here.
Face-off, though, won by Blaine, as they have been able to control a lot of those face-offs in the game today. And a big hit along the far wall. Cade Anderson says, "How do you do?" to Ben Walrath of Blaine.
Walrath shaken up.
And the Bengals lose control of the puck. Here comes Everson on the right wing side. Rister is knocked away by Wallen to the corner. Steffen now picks it up for the Bengals. Far side pass will go to McIntyre. Towards the wall. McIntyre, I think, wanted a penalty. He's still slow getting up in the corner as well. He won't get it. As the puck on the far side, Connor Thompson can't clear. Steffen holds now for Blaine, and on second effort is bonus, but able this time cleared by Everson. And again, the Cougars unable to get it past the blue line. They have now given Centennial a single shot on goal here in the second period, 15-11 now. As the puck up the ice now, here comes New Power on the right wing side. Centering pass right out in front for Korkowski, but he couldn't get it past Wallen. And cleared all the way down the ice. We'll have an icing. Probably the best opportunity Centennial's had here in the period.
Yeah, they had that one big blast that Wallen turned aside with no traffic in front with his left pad. But yeah, obviously Blaine having the better of play and certainly putting more pressure on the opposing net as we're nearly 7 minutes into the period.
Another face-off win here for the Bengals on the far side, but not cleared. Bartle keeps it in. Number one line for Centennial back out there here with 10 minutes to play in the second period. 2-1 Blaine, wraparound try right out front by Pass, and now on the rebound. This was Hoylo, but that one knocked down in traffic. Back the other way now is Steffen. Luke Steffen. As the puck dropped around, and a big hit on the far side. Penner levels Henry Bartle onto the ice. Van Tassel now leaves it for Bartle out front, but tipped away. Here comes a 2-on-1 for the Bengals. This is Luke Steffen. Pass across, right back to Steffen. Backhand try, and Troji makes the save. And Luke Steffen just couldn't get enough of it on the stick to get a good shot on.
I like how quickly Loftus fed it back to him, but I would have liked to have seen Loftus just hit a one-timer. I think that might have caught Troji coming across. So great unselfish play, but ultimately allowed Troji to recover.
At the end of all that, a face-off comes in the Centennial zone.
They win it again.
Nate Schaefer will have it. Yeah, we are not keeping that particular stat, but they seem to be heavily sided towards one way. Blaine has really done a nice job winning face-offs today.
And we've talked about the physicality of Centennial. Part of the reason that's the case is because Blaine has had the puck.
As this one comes right out front, dangerous again for the Cougars as the Bengals had an opportunity again out front. Ernest tried to wrap around. Blaine fans wanted a penalty on that against Blaine, but will not get it as it's dumped all the way back down the ice. 8:57 to play, second period. 2-1 our score as it's brought up the ice by Bonus. There's a broken stick out front now to Canaveri, and they'll chase it to the far corner before it gets knocked into the wall with a double team.
Good back checking by Centennial.
Walrath now, he throws a wide angle chance, and Troji is there to make the save. Now Steffen, Landon Steffen will throw it to the near corner. A centering pass comes through, but nobody home and cleared down the ice. This is going to be just wide, and they're going to wave the icing off. And the long change opportunity for Centennial, but here comes Landon Steffen with a one-timer, and that's all they'll get as it's cleared out by the Cougars.
The puck's just flying at the Centennial goal and the crease area, the slot from all angles.
As the puck around on the near side, Troji getting a workout here. He only faced about 14 shots, I believe, against Spring Lake Park. Thompson drops it off on the far side. Quick shot, knocked away. That was Anderson on the far side, and now cleared back out and all the way down. We'll have an icing and a face-off coming in the Blaine zone. 7:51 to go in the second period.
Boy, Nick, it's hard to imagine this Blaine Bengals team finished 6th in the 13-team Northwest Suburban Conference. That has to speak to the quality and depth of hockey played in this conference.
Well, and you look at the number 1 seed, Maple Grove. We were talking about them off the air. A real buzzsaw of a team. Andover as well, very good team. I mean, there's just a lot of landmines in this particular conference, and there has been for a long time, as that one dives into the Blaine bench. And so another face-off coming here.
It's a big area, a big part of the metro area for hockey.
And known particularly for their physicality. This Section 5 is not the same as like the Section 2 and Section 6 with the Edinas and the Eden Prairies. That's a little different type of a hockey, the finesse style, if you will. This is a physicality that you get when you come here. Not to say there isn't offensive talent, but you're going to get these big back checks and things like that where the sticks are flying high in the air. This is a physical brand of hockey.
It makes for very fun matchups in the playoffs.
Here's Penner on the far side. He's rubbed out of the play, and it's picked up the other way by Peyton Blair. Hitchcock races it down as well for Blaine, and now Ankrum will just throw it in. 7:05 to play, 2-1 Blaine. He's Bill Hupp. I'm Nick Walsh for North Metro TV. Glad you're joining us this afternoon for this section semifinal. Anderson again with it for Centennial. He centers it out in front for Blair, and a goal to tie things up again. Peyton Blair, his 5th of the season. Centennial ties it up at 2.
Cougars not getting contributions tonight from their top lines, so Blair comes in. He was all alone in front of the net. A defensive breakdown from the Bengals leads to a goal, and what a feed out front. All the eyes were on the puck behind the net, and Blair was all alone in front, and very little that Ryan Wallen could do about it.
That was a beautiful feed out front to Blair, who picks up his 5th goal of the season, first of the playoffs, and the first goal of the season against the Bengals. As the goal comes at 10:10 in the second period, and here come the Cougars again. Quick, high wrist shot there from Bartle. As you mentioned, not all the offense coming from those high lines that we saw against Spring Lake Park particularly. Now back the other way is Walrath. Walrath trying to get around the defense, but Everson sticks right with it as the puck cleared out. Back the other way now is Van Tassel. He centers it out in front for pass, but he couldn't get a stick on it. As Cade Anderson and Isaac Ankrum getting the assist as the feed came from Cade Anderson. A beautiful feed right out front. And we are tied now at 2.
Put it on a plate for Blair, and Blair made no mistake.
This one turned over. Pass with it now in the near corner for Centennial. Van Tassel and Bartle back behind the net as well. Defensively, Pooter back there battling for the puck. Pass finally breaks it free for Bartle. He tried to feed it right back to Pass, and it's just a little bit wide as the puck still rolling around the far side, and now Luke Steffen will have the puck, and he clears it out.
Now it's the Blaine Bengals struggling to clear and trying to get a change on the fly.
Everson back to play the puck. Both teams with a change here, partially at least, as Everson will bring it in. Walking right with him is Canaveri on that far side. And now going down on the play as Canaveri will try and scoop it, but beautifully poke checked away by Newpower. Now it sets up right out in front for Newpower, and the save made by Wallen.
What a sequence that was for Jordan Newpower as he poke checked it away to keep it in the zone and then almost got a goal out of it on the return feed.
It's just one of those games where we're seeing the pendulum swift back and forth, and right now it's swung in the favor of the Centennial Cougars after they got that game-tying goal, and the ice seems to be slanted the other way here in favor of Centennial. However, Blaine wins another draw and clears it back out to center.
Yeah, it's so predictable. It always seems to be, those swings always seem to happen based on the last goal.
As this one is cleared out, and they're going to wave the icing off here. They'll say it was cleared out actually by Centennial Cougar. Now Troji gets caught out of the net again. It's the second time tonight. The only difference is this time Centennial carries it back out as Carls tries to make a move. Back behind the net, now centers it right out in front for Thompson, but traffic out in front. This time knocks it free and clears out.
Penner with a big shot block there.
Both sides, dangerous plays as Troji gets caught outside the net for the second time today. This time doesn't cost him either. And then on the other side, a point-blank opportunity for Centennial.
He wishes there was that trapezoid that he couldn't go into.
As that one was tipped, and so no icing against Centennial that time as we approach the 4-minute mark remaining in the second period. We had a collision here between Carls and Walrath, and they're both slow to get back up as we've got a penalty coming up. As this is going to go against Blaine, as we're going to have a hooking call, and for the first time today, the Centennial Cougars will go on the power play.
And what do we say about that offensive zone pressure leading to forcing mistakes on the other team? This time it's the Bengals that will be sitting, and Landon Steffen in the box for a hooking call. And that puts Centennial on the power play with a real chance to grab a stranglehold of this game. And I apologize because it's actually Noah Hitchcock that's sitting in the box.
It looked like Steffen was heading for the box as he skated through it, but Hitchcock was already occupying. As the power play coming up here for the Centennial Cougars. They did not have a power play in their quarterfinal against Spring Lake Park. As Everson running from the point. Now for pass. Pass to Blair, back to Everson. Wrist shot is knocked wide. I think that hit traffic out front. Everson again, this time for Van Tassel. And Everson whiffed on it, and it's cleared out by McIntyre.
Centennial, a remarkable 40.7% power play this season. So man advantage, not something you want to give the Cougars.
Something about efficiency in there as Bartle brings it in. Now a rebound of his own accord right off the wall, and he puts it on. Wallen makes another save, and we've got a whistle here, and a hand pass is going to be called. So a face-off will come all the way back into the Centennial zone. One of the cardinal sins, along with icing your own puck on the power play.
That's a huge break for Blaine, but credit to 22 Matt Everson for Centennial. He did a dove early in the power play to keep it in the zone, and then he forced a save from Wallen. So he's put in a really good shift on the power play.
Face-off again, won by Blaine as Walrath wins the draw, but Centennial will control the puck as Lemaire with it behind his own net.
Won the draw and got a shot on net, forced a save.
1 minute to go here on the power play for Centennial. Henry Bartle brings it in the zone. Drops it off behind him for New Power. Now Lemaire at the point. Far side is Carls. Walking in. Carls still with it now. Gives off to New Power. Wide angle chance turned away by Wallen. Bartle on the rebound now for Carls. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Bartle for Lemaire. He winds and fires, and that was tipped wide. Carls on the rebound. New Power. Back to Carls. And he tries again from a wide angle. This is picked up this time by Bartle. They'll switch around, cycle around. Oh, on the backside, Carls was waiting, had an open net, but couldn't get a stick on it. 3 seconds on the power play, and this will be cleared back out to center, and Blaine will have killed off the power play.
Great penalty kill for the Bengals.
Bartle will bring it back in nonetheless. Off to Lemaire. He tries to put it into traffic. New Power was on the doorstep, but couldn't get a stick on it. Now Ankrum. And he couldn't get anything going as he's tied up along the wall, and Loftus will clear it back out to center.
Ice decidedly tilted in Centennial's favor right now.
As Everson again, yeah, minute 22 remaining in the period is fairly efficiently done again here in the second. Around the boards and back out. They're going to wave the icing off here as Hoylo had an opportunity, didn't take it. And now a turnover right out in front. Here comes Penner, a shot, knocked away, rebound covered up. Oh, those are the turnovers that you dream about, as that puck was left right on the doorstep for Penner, high in the slot, and he was able to walk right in.
I believe it was Cade Anderson that bothered his shot from behind, so the back checking of Anderson as the Blaine coach now consulting with the ref. Centennial decides to get a change, but again, Troji comes out and doesn't look all that comfortable playing the puck, so might want to scrap that plan for the third period.
59 seconds to play in the period. As the face-off again controlled by Blaine. Here's Penner giving off to Pooter, and a nice block out front by Van Tassel. All the way down the ice, Canaveri. And all the way back, Troji will have to play this on net, and he will cover up. Take no chances with Penner again, looming on the doorstep here with 37 seconds to play.
Both teams just so aggressive, putting pressure on the opposing team's net. It's made for a really, really fun hockey game. And after being outshot early in the period, Centennial has again swung the favor back in their end. 27-15 officially shots for the game.
Final 30 seconds of the period coming up. Deuce is wild here in this one. Cougars and Bengals tied at 2. Landon Steffen sending it around for McIntyre. He's taken out of the play. Puck comes around to Hitchcock. 13 seconds to go. Walrath battling along the far wall. 7 seconds to go now. Finally comes out to Hitchcock. Oh, and he tried to hit Loftus walking in as the whistle blows. And we go to the end of the second. A goal in the first for either two teams and a goal in the second for each team. And so we will go to the third in a tie matchup in this section semifinal. The Centennial Cougars and the Blaine Bengals all square at 2. And we should be in for a good third period coming up.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with the third period on the other side. 2-2 after 2, Centennial and Blaine. The third period coming up when we come back. You're watching the Section Class 2A Section 5 playoffs here on North Metro TV. Back here at Centennial Sports Arena, set for the third period. Nick Walsh along with Bill Hupp, and talking off air, a 2-2 game. And Bill, we just don't know how this one is going to go. This has been a fantastic, evenly matched game, and anything could happen here in the third period.
Yeah, I mean, we might say overtime. That's a very real possibility here, but both teams have had extended extended minutes of dominating play, and so that is that's how we find ourselves just sort of shrugging as we start the third period, because it really could go either way. Obviously, both teams want to stay out of the box, and we'll just see what happens.
Shots on goal favoring Centennial 27-15, including 13-9 in the second period. But everything on the table here as we go to the third, everything even up as we are underway here in the third period. And Centennial wins the draw, but Blaine controls now as McIntyre with the puck, and now across to Loftus.
I think if Blaine can continue to win faceoffs, that's going to be a key element for them to stay in this hockey game.
Landon Steffen now back to Loftus and dumped in, and it'll be held on by Troji here, 35 seconds in. We got here by having Centennial score the first goal of the game with Brody Pass at 7:15 in the first period. That was answered by Finn Loftus at 13-12 on a power play. Then in the second period, Blaine took their first lead of the day on a Matt McIntyre goal, and Peyton Blair was able to tie things back up at 2. Lemaire brings the puck in for Centennial. First minute of action, he crashes the net, puck is loose. Wallen was out of the net for a moment, but nobody was there for a rebound, and Luke Steffen was able to clear it back out. Puck jumps over Bartle's stick and around onto the near side as Pass trying to hold the zone. Van Tassel is there as well. Van Tassel gives it off now to Bartle. Bartle all wrapped up, but gets it back to Van Tassel. He was too deep in the zone to do anything with it. And now into the corner. Bartle stays with it. Brings it to the high slot. He waits, shoots, knocked down, whistle blows, and no goal. The light went on, but the whistle blew, and the referee says no goal.
And he's bringing it outside the zone. So obviously they saw something that Centennial did, but credit to the ref there, very decisive, immediate in terms of waving that goal off. There was never a question.
We're going to get an announcement here.
No goal, player in the crease.
No goal. There was a player in the crease, they'll say, for Centennial. So no goal. So wipe that one away. As Centennial brings it back into the zone. Blair is over there as well as Anderson. And now picked up here by Loftus and cleared back out to center. First minute or so of action has favored the Cougars. As Hoylo with the puck, slings it across the ice for Blair. That's picked off by Penner. Back to play it is Anderson, and now Ankrum as well. Blair will send it across now for Cade Anderson. Anderson, oh, nice play there by Canaveri, knocking that one down. It comes back out to Anderson in the high slot, though. Blair still with it, and now Canaveri takes it away. Everson will keep it in the zone. 14:40 to play, third period. 2-2 our score. Hard hitting along the walls. There is Nate Schaefer. Puts Blair into the wall, and now it's cleared back out and all the way down. Blaine will change. Centennial will do the same. Korkowski has it turned over. Walrath right out in front, and a wrist shot goes high. Landon Steffen on the rebound as the puck bouncing back behind the net. And finally corralled by Jordan Newpower. Picked up now by A.J. Carls. He brings it in, and a shot point blank, and Wallen is up to the task.
Carl's one of the fastest skaters on this ice. When he gets those feet moving, it's unbelievable. And he also just takes that direct line right to the net, challenging Wallen, who hugged that near post.
Walrath will take the face-off against Thompson. Walrath has had the better end of these, and Blaine wins again. Picked up here by Loftus. Wistersill couldn't keep it in, and now here comes McIntyre, 1-on-2. He risks one just wide of the net. Comes back to McIntyre, and he'll send it around the boards. Newpower will wait for it there. 13:45 to play, third period. As this is sent across for Carls. Wistersill will pick it up, now back to Carls. Carls, nice weave through the defense, but loses the puck in the process, and now this is flipped out for Landon Steffen, and Centennial will dump it right back in. As this one comes all the way out, you have to wonder as this game gets later and later. Blaine has played, as you mentioned, in more close games than Centennial. They just haven't been pressured as much through the season. Bartle will bring it in. Still with it is Bartle. Tries to make a move, but he can't get away from Schaefer. And now back out at the top. A shot scores! Matt Everson with the shot and a goal to take the lead.
Cougars with bodies in front of Ryan Wallen. And Everson's had a really nice hockey game and just threw it on net, kind of drifted middle, put it on net. And Centennial gets that all-important next goal. They've come back from 2-1 behind. And they've had, quite frankly, the better of play in this period thus far, Nick.
As Everson will get credit for the goal, his fourth of the season. 2 of his previous 3 have come against Blaine. So 3 of his 4 goals this season have been against the Bengals.
Number 11, Henry Bartle.
As Bartle gets his second assist of the day. As Bartle now has 5 assists on the season against Blaine. And with 12:20 to go, the Cougars have retaken the lead. And that is one of those old credos, you can't score if you don't shoot. And that is probably one that Wallen might want to have back, as that one didn't seem to be the most difficult shot he's faced today, but it is one of them that has gone in.
Well, and you just wonder again how much the traffic in front, the bodies in front of the net affected his line of sight. But yeah, anytime you give up a shot from the point and let that go in, that's usually one you want back.
This one flipped in by Anderson, and we'll have an icing call here with 11:43 to play, as Centennial has 5 shots on goal here in the period. Blaine has yet to put one on against Leo Troji. That's the face-off will come in the Centennial zone. Walrath again against Thompson. And again, Walrath wins as Pooter a one-timer from the right point. Got all the way through, but Troji did make the save. That's the first shot on goal, and offsides is the call as Thompson was ahead of Carls on the play.
Well, and Blaine knows that they're the underdog in this hockey game, but certainly the longer you can stay in the game, the more the confidence grows. And so it's critical that they not go down by 2 goals.
There's an old saying in hockey that the next goal is huge.
Yes.
And that would apply here, especially if Blaine can get the tying goal, then all bets are off as well. If Centennial can get up to a 2-goal lead, which they have not done today, it would probably open up the opportunity for the Cougars to salt it away potentially. Walrath will wrap it around off the face-off win again for Blaine. As it's dumped back down, Landon Steffen will chase it along with Lemaire. First to it is Lemaire, and now Walrath is there, sending one past the goal mouth. And now Pooter will try a one-timer, and that goes into the high netting. 11:06 to play in the third period. Centennial with a 3-2 lead now. First lead they've had since it was 1-0 back in the first period. This time Centennial able to win the draw as Hoylo will have the puck for the Cougars.
They just look faster in this period, Nick.
And it could be a product of just a little better athleticism. Teams that are better over the course of the season tend to wear teams down as the game progresses. As this one loose and picked up here by Van Tassel behind the defense, walking in, and Wallen makes the pad save. And now Luke Steffen trying to clear. Everson tries for another opportunity. The one-timer again turned away by Wallen. Here comes Hitchcock, 3-on-2 here for Blaine. Luke Steffen tries to get it back. Now it's tipped out front. Loose puck, and Everson is there to pick it up.
I don't know, Blaine just doesn't look as crisp in this period, Nick.
And Everson will send it across for Hoylo. Blaine has seemingly been able to carry itself off its own momentum, and they just haven't had it here in this third period. They got the power play goal late in the first period, and then they carried that to the second goal. They just haven't had anything to really draw that momentum off of, it seems, in order to build that. As this one picked up by Korkowski, and around the boards on the far side for Blair, who tips it up the ice now for Ankrum. Ankrum getting around the defensive check there as he sticks with it. Now a centering pass right out front for Anderson. The net's off its moorings. The official hasn't seen it, and now the whistle will blow. Ankrum kind of came around and clipped it as he passed it out front to Anderson, and so we'll have a face-off here with 9.5 minutes to play.
Now, there's a reason that Isaac Ankrum was the leading tackler from his middle linebacker position for this Centennial Cougars football team, which ended up starting a little slow but came on late and ended up winning the section title over Stillwater. So this is a team with or a school that certainly has had its share of success in athletics over the years.
And just came, in fact, from the basketball arena prior to this game, where the #1 seeded Centennial Cougars defeated Osseo. And they have an opportunity, as well as hockey, to be potentially in the mix for a state tournament berth in girls basketball as well. Yeah, they've had success here in the district in a number of different sports. But right now, the task is to defeat their rivals from the west, the Blaine Bengals. As this is flipped back out to center. Landon Steffen now for Canaveri. And now Korkowski flips that one. Newpower looked like he might have taken a stick to the face, but he stays in. Lemaire back to play it. As Lemaire can't clear, Walrath keeps it in.
Walrath just always involved in the play, isn't he?
He is,
just around the puck.
It seems like, well, Walrath went down in that play, and it looks like he might stay in. Now a 2-on-1 right out front, and Carl scores the goal to make it a 4-2 game. herky-jerky moment all of a sudden turned into a golden opportunity as Carls will score the goal and give Centennial a 2-goal advantage.
Newpower held onto that puck till he got to goal line extended and then fed it across. Wallen had already committed, and Carls, who almost skated past the goal, just had a tap in. So that top line for Centennial comes through to make it a 2-goal game.
And so Carls, who had a hat trick against Spring Lake Park, picks up another one here tonight. His first goal of the season against Blaine and his 4th of the postseason. As the pace of play has just changed here in this third period overall. It has not been as crisp as it was certainly in the first period or even in the second. It's almost like I don't know, it's the whole pace has changed, and that has benefited Centennial because the pace seems to have come in a somewhat of a slowing down for Blaine.
And you wonder if fatigue is starting to play a factor.
Here's another opportunity right out front, and Van Tassel couldn't beat Wallen covering up.
I mean, Nick, the pace, especially in that first period with how few whistles there were, it was so frenetic that you wondered that, you know, I don't think it's a big surprise that in this third period, especially midway through the period, we're starting to see some tired legs out there, some guys with hands on their knees.
And of course, they did play a little bit of a different type of a game on Thursday as the face-off here controlled by Blaine. Blaine had to work a little bit harder against Osseo to win 4-1. That was a 3-1 game late into the period, into the third period. And Centennial, meanwhile, as this one's picked up right out front. Walrath, as you mentioned, always around the puck, takes the shot and Troji makes the save. Centennial, meanwhile, played a 9-1 game over Spring Lake Park, so they probably got a little more rest from the top lines in the third period. And so maybe a little more rested for Centennial than Blaine. Still an opportunity, meanwhile, if Blaine could get the next goal. Another old saying, of course, the toughest lead to defend is the 2-goal lead in hockey. So if Blaine could find the next goal and get some momentum, but right now the ice seems to be tilted to our left right now. As Bartle centers it right out in front, a shot is knocked down. And here's Walrath again picking it up. Out to center before he takes a hit from Van Tassel. Cougars with pass on the near side. He gets taken out of the play by Canaveri. 6:35 to play here in this third period. Centering pass for Bartle. That's knocked away and never got a shot off. And all the way down as Troji will throw it right back. Van Tassel trying to put pressure on, but Canaveri holds the puck while the rest of the Bengals change. Now Korkowski will chase this, and this will be an icing call with 6:18 to go.
I mean, it just, Nick, we saw a lot more offensive zone time. Even if it didn't result in shots, Blaine was just buzzing in Centennial's end numerous times in the first and second periods. We have not seen that in the third period.
Ramirez off the face-off for Centennial. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to play. 4-2 Cougars. And now Ankrum. Blaine trying to muck this up defensively, and it goes back to the corner. Cade Anderson throws it back behind. Picked up by Hitchcock. Oh, he skated right past it. And now nearly wrapped up. Body's starting to fly out there defensively. It's a little bit more muddy out there, I would say, than at any point in this game.
It's a long shift for both lines.
And this will clear all the way down. Blaine will race to their bench for a full-scale change. Anderson trying to skate past the defense and plays it up, and now partial change for Centennial as well. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in this section semifinal. Centennial leads 4-2. Wistersill will try a one-timer, bouncing puck, And got back behind the net. Ramirez will stay with it now for Wistersill. Wistersill walking in, now sends it across for New Power. New Power, a wide angle chance. That hit the post. Then bounced back and now cleared out as Blaine just trying to get it out of the zone. And the face-off coming now with 4:45 to go.
And that's the kind of thing you see from a tired defense is icing the puck. And there's been a couple times where Troji has actually come out to prevent the icing and try to catch him with a long outlet pass up to the blue line. So,
and just not a lot of motion to our right.
No.
Along with icing, the downside to the ice is that it stays in your own end, of course. And McIntyre off the face-off win will control this across now to Pooter. And around to the far side, but Lemaire tips it away and he'll throw it right back in. Clearly the momentum all on the side of the Cougars here as Carl skates in, but his shot well wide. Lemaire will hold it in now for Carls again. Centering now for Thompson. He gives off to Wistersill, but overled. And now another pass out front. New Power couldn't get a stick on it. Off the rebound, bouncing puck again. That time Wallen was out of the net and finally cleared out. Slow roller, and this should be another icing, and it will.
Some of these feeds out in front have just been glorious, and a couple of them have resulted in goals, and even when they haven't, it's just the vision to spot those passes is incredible. Shots
on goal in the period favoring Centennial now 13, check that, 11-3 in the third period. Overall 38-18. So the shots on goal starting to really pile up here for Centennial. As Bartle has it off the face-off win for Centennial, and a pitch and catch there for Everson. He got the last one by Wallen from that same spot, but this time Wallen was ready.
Saw it all the way, no traffic in front of him this time.
Face-off will come to the left of Wallen this time. We're under 4 minutes to play in this section semifinal. Centennial with the 4-2 lead. Hitchcock off the face-off win for Blaine. And Bartle keeps it in for a moment, but this will be picked up by Penner. 3-on-2 here for Blaine as Penner centers it out front, and a shot knocked down, a rebound right out front. And no call, but now we do have a penalty, and we're going to have a roughing call.
On Bartle.
On Bartle, yeah, with 3:35 to go. And so maybe this the last opportunity for Blaine to swing some momentum in their favor. They'll get a power play here with 3:35 to play. And the last time they had real momentum was when they scored a power play goal, and they looked a whole lot better offensively after that. It'll be a 2-minute roughing penalty as Bartle getting a descriptive analogy of what he did there.
I think he said that, you know, he rode the Bengal into the end boards and maybe got his elbow up, so ref explains things to him. The captain sits for 2.
Second power play opportunity of the day for Blaine. They are 1 for 1. McIntyre.
We talked about not being sharp. They just weren't able to keep it in the zone right there. Now they've got to drift back to their own blue line to regroup.
McIntyre will dump it in now with 1:39 on the power play and 3:10 in the third period. Finn Loftus with it. Now a centering pass from Logan Steffen, and now from behind McIntyre flying in, but his shot well wide. Loftus keeps it in now, sending it across for Landon Steffen. Off to McIntyre, it's picked off. Here's Carls reaching through and had to slow down. He lost the puck for a moment as Carls skates through right out front, and a shot on, and Wallen with the blocker save.
What a beautiful sequence of events for Carls, just kind of using his hesitation after he lost the puck to dummy a defender and get to the high slot to make that testing shot.
And Wallen saving the game for now for the Bengals here with 2:31 to go and 57 remaining on the power play as Troche reaches out and catches that one out of the air. We'll have a timeout here for the Blaine Bengals here with 2 minutes and 31 seconds to go, and 57 remaining on the power play, and this is really the watershed moment here at this point for Blaine.
Yeah, good timeout by Chris Carroll. Draw something up. You've been winning draws all day, so get your best face-out guy out there, win the draw, and then try to get something quick. There's plenty of plays off of draw wins that you can try to get a quick shot on net, but ultimately they need a quick one, and they really need to score on this power play to have any chance at trying to send this game to overtime.
The winner to take on the winner of the other semifinal, Maple Grove, one would say is a fairly heavy favorite in that matchup.
Against Totino Grace.
So Tino Grace, the number 4 seed, they defeated number 5 Champlain Park 9-4 in their quarterfinal. Maple Grove, a ho-hum 20-0 victor over Coon Rapids in their quarterfinal. And meanwhile, we talked about it before, Blaine 4-1 over Osseo, Centennial 9-1 over Spring Lake Park. That'll be next Thursday night at the high seed. So if Maple Grove were to win, this game would be in Maple Grove. If Totino Grace were to win, the winner of this game would host that on Thursday night. Face-off will come to the right of Troji. McIntyre. Now Loftus from the point. Walrath and a high wrister. And that'll wrap all the way around and out.
That's how they scored their power play goal initially. Center point shot from Finn Loftus. Not as lucky this time.
That one hits the skate of Landon Steffen. 35 seconds to go as McIntyre will just put one on net. And if nothing else, that will allow a regroup here off the faceoff, which, if there's one thing Blaine has done well today, it's win faceoffs.
Yeah, no question about it. That's exactly what they wanted to do. They won the draw there through Walrath and got a shot they wanted, but you know, ultimately too many bodies in front. Centennials really locked things down defensively the last period and a half.
Walrath against Pass in the face-off circle with 32 seconds remaining on the power play. And the face-off is controlled initially by Blaine, now tied up in the corner. Centennial just trying to kill off as much time as they can. As it finally flips out, McIntyre bouncing puck. Nice job to keep it in. Off to the near side for Loftus, a shot. Steffen, that's knocked down.
Extra skater on the ice for Blaine as well.
The net empty with 1:39 to play as the power play time comes to a close. So it will be 6-on-5 right now with 1.5 minutes to go. As that shot gets through, but wide. Around to the near side and up to the point for McIntyre. He throws it into traffic, but Van Tassel sitting there. This is going all the way down the ice. Oh, the goal! Van Tassel from his own blue line scores the empty netter, and the Centennial Cougars with a 5-2 lead.
And that should do it as the Cougars fly by their bench on the opposite side, but ultimately it started with a shot block by Van Tassel, blocked it with his skates, and then just backhanded it all the way down.
And so it will be Centennial moving on to the section final. We do not yet know the opponent, and we do not yet know the location, but we do know it will be Thursday night for the Section 5 championship. 75 seconds to play. And the puck dumped back in. It is a situation where the clock will run out. Centennial will move on. Blaine really had a nice showing, particularly early in the game. After Centennial got the first goal, we thought maybe this might unravel a little bit, but they did recover. They scored the next two, took a lead through most of the first half of the second half, and finally Centennial was able to tie it and kind of took over this game.
Yeah, Cougars have scored 4 unanswered goals, but Blaine, especially when they were leading 2-1, were really jumping.
And this one right out in front. New Power has it tipped wide. Shots on goal at the end of the day will be pretty decided in favor of Centennial, 41-20 now. But for a time, Blaine was holding their own despite that. And so they will lose today, but a tough finish for them, knowing that twice this season, in the regular season and here in the postseason, they did have leads against this tough Centennial team and just couldn't sustain the momentum through the entire game.
You got to play for a full 52 minutes, right? And so 51 minutes, I suppose it is. And
I was going to say, if you're playing 52, you've already played pretty well the first 51. That would be an overtime loss. So
51 minutes. You got to play the full 51, and Blaine has played parts of really good games, but
here's Blair walking in for Anderson, and that will cap it off. Centennial, Cade Anderson, off the pass from Blair, 6-2.
Well, he had a beautiful assist in the second period. He's got a beautiful goal in this period. Just a great 2-on-1 executed by Centennial. And this score is going to look a lot different. It's not going to indicate how close this game was. But Centennial, credit to them. I mean, 4 goals in this period, and they've really turned on the Jets when they've needed to.
And a really nice goal for Centennial to finish off. A nice tic-tac-toe pass there.
Yep.
As the final seconds will tick off here, 10 seconds to go. As the Centennial Cougars will beat the Blaine Bengals for the 3rd time this season. As the final seconds tick off, and 6-2 as the Cougars surround their goaltender Leo Troji and celebrate moving on to the section championship game. A final score 6-2. Get that net out of the way.
Well, congrats to the Cougars of a well-deserved win after really taking a stranglehold of things in the 3rd period. And they move on to a potential date with 3rd-ranked and top-seeded Maple Grove. And what a dandy matchup that would be. Crimson having dealt the Cougars 2 of their 4 losses on the season. But I think, Nick, this game had everything you wanted to for much of it in terms from a section semifinal between rivals, as a lot of the kids gather at center ice to congratulate each other and say hi. Obviously a lot of familiarity between these 2 teams, and really they just competed like it meant something. And obviously in the state playoffs in Minnesota, it certainly does.
And due to the magic of technology and something you may have heard of called Twitter, we can confirm that Maple Grove defeated Totino Grace today by a final score of 7-1. So it will be top-ranked Maple Grove in the section versus the number 2 seed Centennial on Thursday night, and we presume that game will be played in the Maple Grove Community Center. And so that should be an interesting battle. Obviously, Maple Grove has been a powerful team this season, and just as Blaine came in here and tried to catch Centennial by surprise, Centennial will try to do the same thing on Thursday night.
Yeah, no question about it. And for Centennial, it'll be defensively. I mean, Maple Grove piled up the goals when they played them this season, so Centennial will have to really try to lock things down defensively. That's easier said than done against the high-powered Crimson, but obviously there's no easy berths to the state tournament in Minnesota.
And with that, we will wrap things up here from the Centennial Sports Arena, as we want to thank everybody. This was kind of a yeoman's effort today. We had high school basketball over on the gymnasium side, and so 1 o'clock at the gym, then across the parking lot here to the hockey arena. So I want to thank Rob Clark for pulling double duty and racing across. You should have seen the speed at which he took his job efficiently from one arena to the other. And Bill, your final thoughts from today.
I mean, it was just a fantastic and fun game. I mean, especially for the first period and a half. But ultimately, when Centennial tied it up, the tide changed at that point, and Blaine was really never able to recover after that. Centennial goes on to score the next 4 goals. And we thought, you know, it's anybody's hockey game entering the third period, but the third period was all Centennial. And they deserved the win today, and they got the win. And now they've got a fun one coming up on Thursday against Maple Grove.
6-2 the final. It'll be Centennial and Maple Grove for the Section 5 championship game. For Rob Clark here running the camera, for everybody back in the studio, and for Bill Hupp providing his colorful commentary for today's game, I'm Nick Walsh signing off from the arena, reminding you to stay positive and test negative and enjoy the section final coming up Thursday night. For everybody here at the arena, Nick Walsh signing off. So long, everybody. This has been a North Metro